Here in my family room with my loyal puppy Chloe, who sees me on the ground and wants to join me. If you're like me and you have kids or puppies that want to join you anytime you're on the floor, this stretching routine will give you good bonding time. So I'm here today to talk about stretching the glutes and hips, and I'm going to do a series of videos that address different muscle areas, and this will include stretching as well as releasing, so we're going to combine them. Now there are definitely studies out there trying to figure out what you should do first and in what order. Should you stretch before you foam roll? Should you foam roll before you stretch? I always say everybody's different, so see what your body prefers. For me, the foam rolling is almost like a deep massage, so when I'm done, I just want to relax. So stretching, I kind of want to do first because it should be an active engagement of the muscles that you are not lengthening. And so it's not just a passive, relaxing thing. Like, stretching is active. You are sometimes cringing. So because it's an active thing, I tend to want to stretch first and then roll out secondly. But play around and see what feels good to your body. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite hip openers. Some of them are going to be intense, so I'm going to show you ways to modify. I'm reaching for a pillow, not trying to show cleavage. So you're going to, if you are really tight in your hips, sit on a pillow or a bolster or some yoga blocks, something to elevate your tailbone a little bit more. First, just try to sit cross-legged. Not everyone can do this, so if this is too tight, cushion yourself with some pillows underneath the knees. Okay, I know some of you are really, like, that's severe dysfunction if you can't sit cross-legged, but I understand that that can be an issue. So pillows right here, and then just as you breathe, try to open it up. Okay, those of you who are not quite that tight, we're going to take it to ankle to knee. So, and I've shown this stretch before. Ankle to knee, sometimes we call it fire log pose because you're stacking the logs. This is a deep stretch for your hip rotators, specifically in that external rotation. So you really need to breathe. You can feel this. You know, if you're super tight, you'll feel this all the way, it'll go all the way into the lower back. So just breathe. Good deep breaths. Did you know that when you burn fat, it turns into a carbon and you exhale it out of your body? So that'll make you think a little bit more about those exhalations. And then if you feel okay here, go ahead and exhale, keeping your spine long, chest kind of lifted instead of collapsed. So lift that chest and then just try to reach forward a little bit. Be really mindful of what's going on in the sacral spine, in the tailbone area. Make sure that you feel okay here. And then just try to relax. Actively open up the legs. And then as you feel comfortable, stretching is one of those things you want to slowly take a little bit deeper and deeper and progress in stages. So we never like rush into our deepest stretch. So then lengthen the spine, keeping that chest elevated again, reach forward. Now what can be helpful is like this rug I can kind of dig my fingers into. So I can just dig in and pull myself forward and down. And breathe. And walk myself a little bit farther. And a little bit deeper, and then just breathe. Okay, if you're not like breathing into your stretches, then your body can kind of react the opposite way. It'll get tense, it'll be scared of the stretch that you're going into, and so everything can kind of gnarl up, and that's the last thing that you want to happen. You're trying to evoke a relaxation, and so you really have to breathe and move slowly. And stay active. I'm still actively pressing my knees down into the floor. That's an active mental concentration movement. So actively pressing my knees down, down, down as I stretch forward. And if you're really flexible and you're just lying all the way down, good for you. We'll try not to hate you too much. It's amazing hip flexibility. Sometimes excess flexibility can be a problem. So if you're uber flexible, you're really open in the hips, you might be too externally rotated all the time, which can cause some damage. So be cautious if you're overly flexible here. Try to focus on strengthening those glutes more, gluteus medius, outer thighs. Get some more strength going on there, and then ease up. So you want to spend some time in a stretch. So it helps if you have a buddy like me to chat with. Okay, before we switch sides, we're going to get into that glute a little bit more. And this also comes from yoga. It's a yoga cow face. And it's called a cow face because you're stacking. This is, visualize, these are the ears of your cow. And I want to really hollow out my abs and lengthen the spine. So really lift through my crown and really try to get the knees centered. Again, this might be like cringe worthy. This hurts so bad. So if it's painful, don't do this. Just focus on sitting cross-legged. We're working on that, baby steps. But for some of you, you need a deeper stretch. This is deeper. If you need to go deeper, again, hinge forward from the hips, keeping your spine long, chest lifted. Inhale as you lengthen, and then exhale as you drop down a little bit lower. And keep breathing. Try not to collapse until you're ready to kind of relax into it, and then you can melt down. Stay strong and active, pulling the knees in and pressing the feet out and back. So actively stretch. And just breathe and pretend that this is just awesome. You feel so good. Now play around with where you shift your weight so that you can really get a stretch. If you're kind of leaning away from it, you're not getting the full stretch. So bring that body weight right over the thigh so you can really feel that stretch all the way to that ischial tuberosity, or your sit bone. You know, sometimes we have to throw out big words so I look smart. But really, I just want to speak your language. So ease up, roll out the shoulders some. Okay, so we've stretched out this side. Now let's switch, and we'll kind of just reverse it. So we'll start with the cow face and then take it to the ankle, the knee. So again, get on top. And you don't necessarily need to be sitting on a pillow, but if you're a princess, then give that tailbone some cushioning. Okay, so again, I'm trying to pull the knees in to center, right in line with my belly button. Not that I can see it, but you know where your belly button is. So get those knees stacked. Try to bring your cow ears out to the side, lengthen the spine. Did you hear that beep? That is the sound of my dryer. It's the worst sound in the world. Oh. The bad thing about my dryer is it doesn't let me ignore it. It's gonna keep on beeping. And I'm just going to have to stop and push start again because I'm not ready to fold. You know you do it too. Okay, here's my buddy because of course I'm on the floor. Hello, Chloe. Okay, bye-bye. And just exhale, breathe, take it a little bit deeper. Puppy stretching. Good times. And breathe. And chat with me a little bit. Stretching, I know some people don't want to do it because it's kind of boring. Like you're not jumping around or dancing or cycling and your heart rate's not climbing, and so it just seems really boring. But it's so good for you. It's so important. And how could this be boring? Huh? How could this be boring? It's so not boring. Now you've just heard my puppy talk. Huh. Yes. If you don't have your pet talk, then you are missing out. Huh. Yes. Bless you. Yes. I love to watch the way animals move because like they're so flexible and bendy and agile and just get in any position and they never whine. They're never like, oh, my tight hips. Huh. Okay, so now let's get that ankle to knee. And again, be cautious, be slow, but actively open it up. And this is my tight side, you guys. So, you know, like, I'm not the example of uber yogi flexibility. Like, I get tight. I feel ya. Whew. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Actively push it out. Now, if you've got the flexibility, reach it forward, keeping that spine long, chest lifted. Exhale, drop it down. Now, another thing that can make stretching a little bit more pleasant is to listen to some music that relaxes you. So anything kind of smooth, mellow, ballads, classical. Sometimes classical is a little too like, emotional. Too much angst. So find something that is calming to you. And breathe and just hold, hang out here. It might not feel good, it might not feel fun, but we're making progress. Whew. Take it where you can. See if you can go a little bit deeper. This is my tight side. You might make ugly faces like I'm doing right now. I try to relax, relax, ease into it. Good. And when you've had as much as you can handle, ease up. But to make changes in your body, you have to be willing to spend some time in that slightly uncomfortable position. Okay, so this is about hips and glutes, right? So we did that. Now that I've done my active stretching, I'm ready to kind of roll out. You can use a foam roller if you have it. For glutes and hips, I like the tennis ball better because I can like really isolate certain spots. So I'm gonna use the tennis ball. What you're gonna do for this is self-exploration. So I'm gonna start with my tight side. I was just stretching it. It'll be good. I'm just sticking it right under the meaty part of my cheek. And I don't know if this is at all an attractive position. I did make sure that my leggings don't have any holes. So that's always a good important thing. Wardrobe check. Okay, so I'm just exploring, as you should be too, with your tennis ball right now. Are you exploring? And I'm kind of rolling, I'm rolling toward my sit bone right there, that ischial tuberosity. And, oh yeah, I found a good spot. So once you find that good spot, you'll know it when you feel it. You're gonna hold. You're gonna hold. You're gonna try to relax. Now notice I'm using my upper body to hold me up here and to make it so I'm not so heavy in the ball. So you gotta have a little bit of upper body strength here. And then I'm gonna open up my knee a little bit more and explore that same spot, but with my leg in a different angle. I'm also gonna roll now around a little bit more to the outer edges of that glute. And then kind of up. So again, you're rolling and you're staring up at the ceiling because that's your thinking face. You're just feeling around. Where do I feel the most tension? Ooh, that I heard my southern accent in that word. Sometimes it'll come out. People don't know that I grew up in South Carolina because I've lost my southern accent. But as soon as I talk to someone from Charleston or anyone from the South, it'll come right back. And then I'll say, y'all. I've just lived too many places. Right now I still probably have a good Utah accent. So we're just chatting while we roll with a tennis ball into the meaty part of our glutes. And this is good. Okay, so I'm getting up a little bit closer to the hip now. And I'm kind of leaning in. In fact, I can drop to my elbow, lean to the side, and get more of that outer hip. Now, a few things about why the hips. Why are we working the hips? For a lot of us, we store tension subconsciously in the hips. When you have this tension in the hips, you feel it in other areas of the body. So you might not even know it's the hips and glutes that are the root cause. You might think it's your neck. You might think it's your shoulders. You might think it's your low back. But as you work this area, you'll find there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of stuff going on in there that can cause pain in other areas. You might feel it in your knees, okay? Because hips are in between your knees, and then what's your other major joint? Your whole spine, your shoulders. It's all connected. It's like dominoes. Woo! So you just want to keep rolling this out and kind of relax into it. Spend a good amount of time. I'm making this video a little bit shorter than I would actually. I mean, I'm going to hang out here and I could really work on this for an hour, depending on how tight and bad I am on a particular day. But this is great, especially if you don't have, I have yet to find a masseuse who can really dig into my glutes the way I want her to. A lot of, there we go. A lot of massage therapists are kind of modest and don't want to dig up into those areas. But I am so not modest, so I don't care. I want you to dig up into my glutes and just, you know, get down and dirty with me, but no one wants to do it. I don't know. And then switch sides. Make sure you get both sides. Oh, mama. It feels so good. So anyway, keep working on this. Discover the joys of the tennis ball. It's magic right here. Work those glutes. Do it while you're watching The Bachelor or whatever your favorite show is. You might as well be doing this than just like vegging on the couch. So there you go. Open up those hips, work those glutes, and you will heal your body. Thanks for joining me, Real Fit for Real Life.